I've generated a little over 2 million views with a small YouTube channel, and the thing that I've realized about selling digital products is that it doesn't come down to the content at all. It comes down to how the brain works, and there's psychological triggers that are behind every decision a person makes from the split second that they first see your content to when they make a purchasing decision. So in this video, I'm going to break down those psychological triggers so you can tap into it, and once you tap into them, it starts to get pretty simple to build your income, impact, and influence, and turn a small YouTube channel into a digital product sales machine. Look, this one's going to be a quickie. It's only going to take me about 5 minutes to break it down. So if you don't have 5 minutes to spare, then you'll probably just keep on wondering why what you're doing isn't working, because you're focusing on giving people what they want instead of focusing on giving the brain what it wants first, so you can then deliver to people what it is that they actually need. So if you don't have 5 minutes to spare, I get it, but the more that you understand the mind, not only will you understand yourself, but you'll understand your potential customer. And the first thing that I'm going to break down with you, I already did it to you within the first half second of you even seeing my thumbnail. Because what you need to understand is that you don't decide what you watch. Your brain decides before you do. So people think people are choosing to watch videos. You're not. You have absolutely no control over it. Your brain chooses for you in under a second, literally a split second, in like a half a second. So how does this work, and how can we utilize this to our advantage? Well, the meta on YouTube, the 20% of things that will give us the 80% of our results is going to be our packaging, which is our title and our thumbnail, right? And the brain chooses to gravitate to something within a half a second. If you can just think about how you're interacting when you are scrolling on the homepage of YouTube, you're just giving a quick glance at everything at once, and then your eye gravitates to something very quickly within a split second. Well, what is the psychology between getting your eye to go from here to clicking and watching something? Well, when somebody sees your video, their brain instantly asks them 3 questions, quick, rapid fire within a split second. So for one, the brain asks, have I seen something like this before, and have I enjoyed it? So basically, is this familiar? The second thing, is something unexpected happening right now? So it's asking, is this different or is this intriguing? And then the third thing, does this have anything to do with me or my life? Is this thing relevant, right? So these 3 things right here are the number one reason why people can't get the viewership that they want. And you don't even need to have a lot of views if you're thinking to actually monetize an offer on the back end. You just need to get the right views consistently, and you can actually make more money with a smaller audience because you're not worried about getting money from AdSense and brand partnerships and stuff like that. All this stuff would just be a little cherry on top, just a little bit of extra money if you choose to do it. But the reason why most people struggle with this is because they're trying to be entirely too creative, and they're trying to be entirely too original. So most people, when they post their content, their brain answers no to all these 3 questions. So if your brain doesn't register it as something you might care about, then you're just going to keep on scrolling. You're going to go to something else. If your answer is yes to these questions, then your brain feels safe, curious, seen, and then you will click it, right? So the reason why I said that a lot of times people are being too original and too creative is because they're thinking of something that is super cool to them, or they're thinking of something that they want to talk about, and then they're thinking, well, this looks cool to me, and I want to talk about this, and I think this looks good, so that's what I'm going to do for my title and my thumbnail on YouTube. No, that does not work. Typically, what works on YouTube is this. Usually, original content fails. Why does it fail so often? Because you have no proof of concept of something that has triggered somebody's brain that you can emulate. So when your audience sees something that they've never seen before, their brain gets confused, and confusion equals scroll. What we want to do is stop the scroll. So the winning move is to use formats that your audience already recognizes and that they already love, and then deliver your unique message within something that is already a proven formula or a proven concept. So we don't have to reinvent the wheel. Now you can make your wheel a little different. In Houston, they might have swingers on them. In LA, they may have Dayton's, right? And somewhere else, they may have chrome on their wheels, but it's still the wheel. We don't have to reinvent the wheel. So the winning move is to use a familiar format plus your angle, and that will get you the right attention from the right people, which will convert into a percentage of those people buying into what it is that you have to offer. So something that I really, really advise that you do, research your competitors. See certain things that have worked for them and things that you can emulate. I'm not saying to steal people's videos, but you can get inspiration from the packaging of those videos. Something else that works extremely well also, look for things that have worked outside of your niche that you can bring within your niche. Also, it's a proven format that has worked as far as grabbing somebody's attention. I'm a huge Michael Jackson fan. My entire algorithm is filled with all this Michael Jackson content because I went to see the movie Michael, and then how I watch movies afterwards, I go watch all these reviews and the interviews and all these old interviews and stuff. And everybody thinks Michael Jackson was so original, but everything that he did, he got inspired from something else that had worked. A lot of the stuff that he did, he got inspired by Fred Astaire. He got inspired by James Brown. He got inspired by name's not coming to my head at the moment, but the guy with the little square mustache with the little hat, Charlie Chaplin, right? Certain things of his Thriller videos, he got inspired from a movie and then actually got the director from that movie to direct the Thriller video. Like, all these things aren't original. He's finding ideas to get inspired, something that's proven, that has worked within the ethos, brings it in front of his audience, he adds his spin to it. Now you gotta, Michael Jackson, right? We can do the same thing. So what you wanna focus on, you don't win by inventing new formats. You don't win by showing up in formats that your audience hasn't seen before. You win by showing up in formats that your audience already loves, and then you make it relevant and valuable to you. Then once you have a proven concept of a style and something that you've seen patterns that have worked time after time after time again, now your original ideas come from a different spectrum than just pulling something out of thin air. You'll use the patterns, the frameworks, the systems that have already been proven to work, and then you can take your original ideas and concepts and sprinkle them in on there, right? So now, once we actually earn the click, how do we keep the click? Because like I said, the meta on YouTube is going to be your click-through rate, which is the percentage of people that click your videos from the impressions that are shown to them. An impression is simply just an eyeball, not a view. Every single time you see any thumbnail on YouTube, you just gave that person an impression, right? A good target metric to shoot for is a bare minimum 5% click-through rate. If you get a 5% click-through rate, you are going to be successful on this platform. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it, right? Then second metric is average view duration, right? The percentage of people that are watching your time, like how long are they watching your videos? I say a good average view duration, not by minutes, but maybe by percentage of your video, would be somewhere between 25 and 30%. That's something good to shoot for, right? But the big meta on YouTube is session time. How long do you keep people on the actual platform, right? Not only are they watching this video, but are you going to get what I call the double B effect, right? The double B effect is the binge and buy effect. So whereas people will watch video after video after video after video because you're hitting on these psychological triggers that I'm breaking down in this video. And then at some point, they will buy. That's how you actually monetize on this platform, right? So how do we do that? We do that by closing the curiosity gap. So the curiosity gap It's this small gap right here in the brain between what somebody knows and what they want to know. That small space is a curiosity gap. So the curiosity gap to the human brain, it adds a level of discomfort. So when it adds a little level of discomfort, the brain wants to close that gap. So it brings attention to it. So then that attention equals the actual view of your video. So what most creators do is that they're just thinking of how can I make money, or how can I make this passive income online with digital products, right? They're just thinking money, 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 money first. And they're thinking, what technique can I use? What marketing strategy can I use? What sales tactic can I use? And they're always leading with the product first. Hear me loud and clear when I say this. Is this thing going? Nobody cares to buy your product. Nobody cares to buy your product, whether it's an ebook, a course, a mentorship, a one-on-one call, a community, a challenge, whatever it is. People could care less to buy your product. And everybody is leading with the product first. That's not what you want to do, because people, this is also human psychology. People don't like the feeling of being sold to. Yet people love to buy stuff because they buy stuff each and every single day. Well, how and why does somebody buy something 365 days of the year if they hate being sold to? Because the stuff that they buy, it just feels like they wanted to buy it. People that hate sales or don't want to be salesy or think that salespeople are scum of the earth, they're going back to an experience in their mind to whereas they feel like they got, or they feel like they bought something that they actually didn't want to buy. But they don't think that when they go to buy stuff every day. Why? Because it doesn't feel like they're being sold to. But you can't buy something unless somebody sells it to you. So most people, they're leading with the product first. And when you lead with the product first, your brain automatically thinks, oh, they're just trying to sell something. It comes no different than an ad. And think about all the ads that you see on a daily basis that you just scroll past. Think of the ads that you're seeing on this here YouTube video that you done skipped. Why are you skipping them? Why are you not watching them? Because they're leading with the product first and it feels like an ad. That's what so many people's content feels like. So when you lead with the product first, the brain says, oh, they're just trying to sell something. Oh, this is just an ad. Then they keep scrolling or they click off of your video. So your result, when you have no curiosity, you have no attention, which you're not ever going to convert any sales. Well, how do we flip that? What works is that we lead with curiosity, disbelief, or identity first. So curiosity first, then the brain's like, I got to know what it is that they're talking about. And then that keeps them watching. So the result is you've opened the curiosity gap. Their attention is locked in, and now you can deliver your message, which is going to close that. It's going to close that curiosity gap. Now, this is big on YouTube. I already said once we earn the click, right? The brain is making the decision on what it's going to look at, or what it's going to click, or what it's attracted to within a split second. But once we earn the click, we have about 10 seconds on YouTube in order to deliver on the promise of that click with our hook. So the meta on YouTube, remember the 80-20, to whereas you get 80% of your results from 20% of your efforts. The few things that will get you the most results are going to be your click-through rate first, your average view duration, like I said. But so many people are missing out here on the hook. Because if you don't grab somebody, if you don't deliver on the promise, if you don't grab their attention within the first 10 to 15 seconds, you've lost them, right? So all we're doing in our packaging is tapping into curiosity and delivering a promise to whereas when they click, all that we need to do within those first 10 to 15 seconds is say that we are going to give you in this video the promise that you just clicked on, right? So the best hooks to open that gap within the first 10 seconds that we're later going to close within the video is, like I said, curiosity. Curiosity makes them think, what is this? So some examples that you can use in the curiosity gap. So say somebody like myself, I could say something like, I made 6 figures from a tiny YouTube channel. What? That doesn't even sound right in this whole creator economy. Because I thought I needed to have a huge audience and all these tons of subscribers and hundreds of thousands and millions of subscribers. How did he make 6 figures with a small YouTube channel, right? Say that I was in the health niche. I lost 30 pounds by doing this one weird thing every morning. Well, what is this one weird thing? Or I could say something like, I lost 25 pounds by eating more. What? Taps into that, opens that curiosity gap. Well, I thought you have to eat less in order to lose weight, but they're saying that they ate more and lost weight, right? If I was in the relationship niche, I could say something like, this text flipped everything in my relationship, right? But in a curiosity hook, you're making them think, what is this? A second kind of hook is that you can tap into what I call the disbelief hook. So the disbelief hooks makes them think, no way. So an example, if somebody made travel content, they could say something like, I flew business class for $38. I flew business class for $38. Here's the exact trick. What is it? That makes no sense. I actually have an acquaintance that makes content like this because he's always traveling all over the world and he's like in the best hotel in Dubai for $55. He's made a lot of money teaching people how he does that. And then the next week he's in Miami at like it's the fountain. I can't even remember the name of the hotel, but he was in there for like $78 and stuff like that. Then he's in the Bellagio in Vegas for like basically free, right? Somebody else, if they were in fitness, they could say they built muscle only doing 10 reps per week, right? These are certain things to where you're tapping into disbelief to where it's just like, no way they're doing that. Opens that curiosity gap and they want to find out how. Another one is the identity, and this one may be the biggest one. Make them think that this is about me, right? Not me as in you, but as in them, the viewer, right? Here's what a lot of people don't realize, period. People, they don't buy digital products. They buy identity. They buy the them that they can visualize succeeding at whatever it is that you're offering. That's what they buy. A lot of people are thinking that people are buying whatever the actual vehicle of the product is. No, people are buying whatever the big promise is. People are buying the transformation. People simply want to go from where they are right now, which is their current situation, to their desired situation. This here is what I call the transformation gap. This is what people are buying. Can they visualize a better them? That's what they want. And these identity hooks really tap into that, right? So you could say something like, if you think motivation is the problem, then you're missing this, because so many people think that they need to be motivated or inspired. Well, if somebody's in the personal development niche, they could immediately hook them in with that to the person that watches all these motivational, inspirational videos and be like, no, you don't need that motivation, right? They know that that's them, all right? One of my videos that have performed extremely well for me, I start off the hook talking about how I couldn't afford a $5 hot and ready pizza from Little Caesars to making my first 7 figures in 18 months. A lot of people that are going through financial hardships, that really hooked them within the first 5 seconds, because they're like, whoa, that's me. I'm really struggling right now. I've been through whatever pitfalls, I've been through whatever struggle, I've been through whatever valley in my life or what I'm going through right now. Like, this guy sounds like me. So the rule, you got to open a curiosity gap within the first 10 to 15 seconds. On YouTube, you don't have that much time. Yes, YouTube is a long form platform, but people, if you don't deliver on the click immediately, they're going to click off the video and watch something else. Then you're going to close the gap through the story of your video. You're going to close the gap through the information, through the value in your video, not whatever pitch it is that you have to offer. But once you close that gap, that's when you make a simple offering of your product. Still don't try to sell it. You simply position what it is that you have to offer as a logical next best step to everything that you just broke down in the video. So again, don't start with what you sell. Start with what makes them curious. Curiosity gets the view, value earns the trust, and then trust delivers the actual sale. Now, how do we close that curiosity gap? Well, we want to open strong, and then the value that we deliver is actually what's going to close that gap. So for one, starting off here, the psychological triggers in the brain. The hook gets them. The value keeps them watching, and then we close that gap. So think hook to value, value to close. The close is going to lead to the results. One without the other isn't going to work. You may get some views, but you're not going to get the result that you're looking for as far as actually building a business to whereas you can get to the point where you're waking up when you want to do what you want to do each and every single day and live life on your terms and actually make more while working less once you've implemented a system for yourself. And system, SYSTM, stands for saving yourself time, energy, and money, right? That's how we get our time back here. That's how we actually live a purpose-driven life. That's how we actually live and build a lifestyle business. We built that system. The system does the brunt of the work nonstop, literally 24/7, 365, instead of us. So, how do we add this value? Like I said, for one, hook, it gets them in. So you make them stop scrolling, you lean in, right? Then the value that keeps them watching, remember, just deliver on the promise. So your job here, remember, transformation, results. You want to provide the transformation, not just information. And people don't want information anymore either. We're in the information age. Everything's Googleable and YouTubeable and AIable and ChatGPTable and Claudeable and dang, I think even Elon got one on Twitter. It's Donnie Grokable, Gemini-able, all the little bulls, right? People don't want information. People don't want to buy information. People want transformation and will invest in themselves and buy offers that deliver transformation. So focus on solving the core problems. Share your process. This is real big, not just the outcome. A way that you can do this, use stories, use examples, use proof. If you don't have proof of helping anybody outside of yourself, then you have to be your proof. And I know a lot of people feel uncomfortable with that, but you have to be your testimony if you don't have testimonials from other people. A lot of people wouldn't realize it from me consistently making content. I don't like to talk about myself. I don't really enjoy talking about things that I've done. I'm glad I have a community where I'm getting people great results because I can talk about the things that have worked for them. But before I got to that point, or when I was just starting, I had to talk about the things that I had done. And then I told stories about what I had done and still do tell stories about what I have done. And every story that you tell, it doesn't have to be a win. Majority of the stuff that I talk about on my channel, I only know it because I lost, I failed. But the way that I look at failure is it's actually a beautiful thing once you can get here mentally and psychologically. Failure stands for finding an individual lane. The only way that you figure out what does work is by going through what doesn't work, right? So we've just been conditioned by the school system and whatnot to just think that failure is terrible. Like anything in life, if you got something right 60% of the time, you're an all-time great, not a failure. But use stories, examples, and proof, and then keep it simple. Simple scales, fancy fails. Clarity always beats cleverness on YouTube. So keep your message simple, clear, and focused. And then when you do that, you'll make them think that what you're talking about is actually working because you're showing them more so than just telling them. And even if you're not using visuals, they can visually see it within their mind if you do use these type of processes and storytelling and whatnot. So Your job is to close that gap. And when you close that curiosity gap, that is what will lead to people buying whatever it is that you have to offer off of your YouTube channel. So your job is to turn that attention into action and then position whatever it is that you have to offer as a logical next best step to whatever it is that they just consumed. So you can close by recapping the transformation, show how your product or your process or your framework or whatever it is that you have to offer makes the process that they just learned about a lot either simpler, easier, or faster. Then you can handle objections as well. So a lot of times, if you know who it is that you're speaking to through your content, that's why we really have to be tapped in on knowing who it is that we're speaking to and delivering value to. You already know the objections and the self-limiting beliefs that they are putting on themselves. So somebody like myself, if you go back to how I started this YouTube channel in my hook, I said that I've generated over 2 million views with a small YouTube channel. Just even in my hook, I'm handling objections because to a lot of people's mind, they're thinking, that doesn't sound right. How does he have a small YouTube channel but millions of views, right? And then within the video, I can basically disprove the limiting beliefs or the objections that they already have in their mind through either the information I'm giving, the value that I'm giving, or in certain videos, the storytelling that I'm doing, right? So when you do that and you give a clear no-brainer call to action, again, position whatever it is that you have to offer as a logical next best step, you make buying feel like the logical smart move, right? And then somebody will just buy something because they feel like it and the value's there. So some examples of this. Let's say that I was in a make money niche and my product was some type of YouTube starter kit. I could say something like, that's exactly why I built my YouTube growth kit. It gives you the exact templates and scripts that did whatever my result was from me. Click the link down in the description and check it out, all right? If I was somebody that was in the relationship niche, I could say, if you want the guide to help me fix my lustless marriage, I put this blah, blah, blah together. So you won't have to go through the months and months and months of no touchy, filly like I did. Click the link down and check it out. Click the link down in the description and check it out. Click the link down in the pinned comment and check it out. Whatever it is that you deem your CTA to be as you start to get your reps in to get this stuff going, right? So the common mistakes that you want to avoid that most people are doing is that they might have a solid hook, but the delivery isn't there. People will click off. Or they'll have good value, but they have no clear close. They leave people without an option to buy. And what you don't want to do is when you have somebody's attention, you never want to miss out on the opportunity to give them a CTA, which CTA stands for call to action. Whether that be to actually buy something from you, whether that be to sign up for a freebie of something that you're giving away for free in order to build an email list to whereas you'll market and sell to them on the back end through email. Whether it's a call to action to keep somebody within your ecosystem on YouTube and utilizing an end screen to whereas they can go and watch another video after that. And that's something that's really slept on because people, I said a good solid click-through rate to aim for on a YouTube video is a 5% CTR, right? Well, even though that's a good baseline measure to shoot for, I actually get I believe last I checked, it was a 16.2% click-through rate because on all my videos, I leave call to actions on my end screens. And I don't just leave some type of random video or just let YouTube decide what video to put there because YouTube's just going to go off of something that's probably getting the most watch hours or views and stuff like that. I don't care how many views one of my videos currently has when I'm directing somebody to do it. I'm positioning my end screens on the end of every single one of my videos with the same mindset and same strategy and same psychological thinking as I do when I position my product or as I position my community. It's crowded at the top. I make the next video that I recommend the logical next best step for whatever it is that they just got done creating or that they just got done consuming. So if I just made a video about these five ab exercises to give you a flat tummy, well, then I'm going to direct them in my next video to the 5 fruits that'll give you a flat tummy or something like that, right? It's like a logical next best step. So this is something that's really underutilized on YouTube also. Now, something else that people common mistakes is that they're pushing the sale entirely too early. People, they don't trust you yet, right? And people, we're in the trust economy right now. People buy things from people that they know, like, and trust. And so many people are being so salesy, so buy my stuff, buy my stuff, buy my stuff on every single video that they're running people away so fast. Excuse me. They're running people away so fast that people don't get to spend enough time with them to trust them. People will buy when they feel like it, right? Don't be so salesy. Don't be so pushy. A rule of thumb that I like to use on YouTube is I want to have a 99-to-1 give-ask ratio. I want to give 99% and then ask that 1%. Guess what? Nobody cares. And even the people that don't buy, they're like, I don't care that he has something to offer. For one, I want to sell something. So the only way that you make money is by selling something. Everybody that makes money has to sell something. People are either selling their time or they're selling some type of product or service, right? Everybody's selling something. I would much rather sell a product than my time because my time is the most valuable asset that we own. We can't get that back, right? But nobody cares when you're leading with true value first, and people can see and they can feel when you're leading with value. That's why everybody's just out here, buy my stuff, buy my stuff, buy my stuff, and leading with everything product and sales first and trying to make sales too early. People can feel that. That's why they're not buying anything. And they have weak and confusing call to actions, right? They don't know what to do. They don't know how to make a call to action in a concise manner, and they're all over the place. And instead of having a 10 to 12 second call to action, 15-second call to action, it ends up turning into a 3-minute soliloquy about why you should buy whatever it is that they have to offer and all the pieces that come with it and how many pages it is and how many modules it is and how many this and that it is. They're focusing on the pieces of their offer instead of figuring out a concise, short message that they can say that focuses on the payoff of the offer, the identity that somebody actually wants, the transformation, the result, right? So the formula that works, remember, hook to value, value to close, close will give you the results. So the way that you can do this and apply this, plan out your videos. I know that I may a lot of times look like that I'm freestyling off the top of my head. Sometimes I have notes. Sometimes even if I am freestyling, I at least know what it is that I'm going to cover in that video. But if anything, I'm going to make sure that I have my hook down right. I'm going to make sure that I have my call to action down right. I'm going to make sure that I have at least a list or some bullet points of some stuff that I know that I'm going to talk about as far as the value, right? So plan your hook, value, and your call to action before you even press record, and create a simple high value offer that solves one core problem. That's so many people's problem also. They're trying to sell so many different offers instead of focusing on one. That's where you make the money. And then if you do want to have other products available, you offer them to people that have already made the purchasing decision to buy that one, because it's always going to be easier to get somebody to buy again than to acquire a new customer. The game isn't going out and trying to sell as much stuff as possible. The game is about increasing the lifetime value of the people that already have chosen to buy, right? So always make your next step, always make your call to action, whether that's to your products or to a next video, a logical next best step. And then through your consistency of uploading, you're doing that for your practice so you can get better, so you can stay honing and sharpening your skills. You'll keep testing, you'll keep improving, and you'll start not only getting results, but you'll be delivering results to other people also, which in turn, all that value comes back to you because you start to become a trusted authority within your space. And you'll get more results because you're giving more people results. And it's a pretty nice give-take relationship with you in the market, right? So how do we add this value to keep people watching our videos? Well, we got to build that tension, right? Just like in any relationship. We want to build a relationship with somebody through the screen. Well, if you think of, let's go romantic here. Sometimes you just got some built up tension between the two, right? Well, we need to do the same thing with our viewers. So the tension that you build up in your videos is what's going to keep people watching. So how do you build tension? Tension, it raises the stakes. It sustains attention, right? And it delivers the payoff. So think tension plus attention plus the payoff equals whatever your desired result is. Without any tension, they're going to bounce. The more tension actually done right is going to equal more watch time for you. So what do I mean by this? Well, what we want to do is that we want to make them care about what's going to happen next. Ways that we can do this: introduce a problem or a goal in the video. Show them what is the risk, or show them what's possible of whatever it is that you're talking about, to where they're looking forward to hearing about that later on. Tease the solution. Don't give it all away. A lot of times people, they'll say, okay, in this video, I'm going to cover the 3 foods that you can eat to keep a flat tummy. For 1, lemon, 2nd's grapefruit, and then the 3rd is gonna be ginger. I don't know. But they say that in the beginning of the video, and then people's like, okay, well, they said they were gonna give me the 3. I just saw the 3, now I'm gonna click off of it. Instead of teasing the solution, right? You don't just want to give it all away in the beginning. So we want to keep people watching, so we're going to be teasing the solution, giving some value, sprinkling, giving some a little bit of foresight of what's coming up, to whereas we continue to rehook and keep people in the loop, to whereas they'll watch a nice percentage of our videos, right? So a way that you can hook people and open these loops is that you can ask questions and you can create time, pressure, or urgency. So as an example, let's say somebody's in the make money niche. I could say something like, I almost lost $10,000 doing this terrible mistake that ruined my business and YouTube saved my life. So in this video, I'm gonna show you the 4 things that you need to do to make sure that this doesn't happen to you, and how YouTube saved everything. You're like, whoa, what is that? I'm not just gonna tell you about, and for me, the thing that's coming to the top of my head right now, a better example would be $50,000, because years ago, I was running Facebook ads, somebody else was running them for me. He got hacked, everything got shut down, business went to zero literally overnight with the 5-figure per month overhead, and I was going through, I believe, 8 months back and forth with Facebook trying to get it resolved, right? But if I said that all in one bunch, people wouldn't be wanting to listen to whatever it is that I have to say throughout the video, right? So if I was in the travel niche, I could say something like, this tiny mistake in Japan cost us big time, instead of just saying straight up front, I did this in Japan and it ruined everything. Why would somebody want to stay and watch that video, right? Now, the way that you sustain attention is that you give just enough, right? So you want to reveal information in small doses that keep them curious. So A good way that you can do this is that you can either break your content into chapters or break them into lessons, or the way that I like to do when I'm script, I'll have certain bullet points, right? And I'll treat those bullet points like a different chapter per se, or a different lesson and whatnot, right? And through that, I'm going to use pattern interrupts, and I'm going to show progress along the way, but I'm not going to show the entire thing. And I can either ask the viewer questions to make them think ahead, and I can change pace, I can change angles, and you could change visuals as well, right? I pretty much do everything on the whiteboard. But even though I have either no editing in my videos or minimal editing in my videos, I still change visuals with the whiteboard. That's one of the reasons why I do use a whiteboard. I said when I started doing what I'm doing on YouTube, I don't want to have to depend on editors or whatnot, but I was thinking of something to whereas I could change the landscape of the visual instead of just being straight talking head, all right? So what I do, I grab my whiteboard, because I could sit here and be talking for 1 to 3 minutes, and then all of a sudden I can bring out the whiteboard and I can talk about how there's 4 levels of entrepreneurship. I can sit here and I can break down a funnel, right? I can draw stuff. I can draw arrows and stick figures and people and whatnot to break the monotony of just some talking head type stuff. I have this pretty cool graphic that I put together that can change the visual pace up. I can go from this to that. Like, there's some psychology behind what I do. And so many people, they're not studying people, and they're wondering why they can't get people to do what they want them to do. They're always just thinking about, what is a marketing strategy? What did I say with content? Study people more so. The more that you understand people, the better content you can make for people, and the better products that you can make for people, because you actually know what people want instead of thinking you know what people want, right? So, ways that you can do this also. You can say something like, if you're in the cooking niche, you can say something like, you're making this pie or whatever, but the secret ingredient comes in a little later. You break it all down, and at the end, your little secret sprinkle might be, I don't know, you ever watch My Wife and Kids? You ever seen that episode where they had Betty White on, and it's like Jay, the wife, everybody loved her food, but then Betty White came in, and she would always reach down like in her bosom, and she would sprinkle something random on everything, and they'd be like, oh, yep, that's good. Let me know if you know the Wife and Kids episode I'm talking about right now. That's actually one of the most underrated shows of all time. But I remember the wife, Jay, or other people might know as Gina, Tisha Campbell. She had cooked like this peach cobbler, and everybody loved her peach cobbler. But everybody loved Betty White's stuff. And she was like, she cooked the peach cobbler that she knew her family loved. And they're like, something wrong with that. That ain't right. And Betty White came in there and reached down and sprinkled. And they're like, yep, there it is. I'm actually going to watch My Wife and Kids tonight. Great show. But you could do something like that just as an example of somebody that was in the cooking niche or whatever, right? So then what we do is that we deliver the payoff, and the way that we do that is that we resolve it, and then we show the transformation, or we show the result, right? Now we close that loop and we deliver the transformation that we promised. Some things that happen here. For one, people see that it works, and then for two, which is the most powerful, is that you become an inspiration to other people. Nipsey Hussle, he once said, the greatest human act is to inspire. What we want to focus on doing in our content in order to actually build an online business for ourselves is that we want to inspire people. And then you will start to create a solid, powerful movement for yourself as well. And here's the thing about movements. They don't take a ton of people in order to be powerful. Think of the movie 300 with Leonidas. Only had 300 men. Online, 300 people, that's a lot of people, especially if they're customers. Think about this. Imagine you had $100 product, 300 people, that's $30,000. Imagine if you had $100 per month product, 300 people, that's $30,000 per month. The main inspiration for everything I'm doing on YouTube right now is this guy. At the time, he had 5,000 to 7,000 subscribers. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it was somewhere between 5,000 and 7,000. For sure, no, it was less than 10. He had a $30,000 per month business. He had 300 people paying $100 a month. You think he was worried about the big audience? No, but he was tapping into this. Now, 2 years later, he has about 40,000 subscribers, still a small YouTube channel, but he makes 6 figures per month. He understands this, and he's an inspiration to his small audience size. His videos get about 1,000 views a video over a, few weeks time, right? He's not getting the most amount of views, but he's only focused on getting the right views, and he focuses on these type of things, right? So how do we do it? We reveal the solution. We can show the before or after. We can summarize the key takeaways. We can tell them what to do next, but anything we tell them, it needs to connect back to the promise of the video, and it needs to connect back to your offer, right? So the mistakes that people do to kill attention is that they're giving away the solution too quickly. They're talking in circles with no progression. They're giving entirely too much information, overloading people, and they're not tapping into the emotional aspect of it. Remember, storytelling is a big thing, and storytelling is where you can really tap into those emotions of people. So if you're not telling your story, or if you feel like you don't want to share some of your can't get right moments because you won't look like an expert, you really got things twisted out here. Those are the moments that connect with people. People want to feel seen. A lot of times the perfect guru, it doesn't seem attainable. So when you can tell those stories about your lows, about how you couldn't get right, how you got through something, that's what's going to build that connection with somebody, right? So use one or more of these in every single video in order to build that actual tension. Talk about what could go wrong, highlight the risk or the downside. Talk about what's actually possible. Show the upside, show what it is that they actually want. Open those loops, ask questions that you're gonna answer later. You can use time pressure. You can use deadlines, countdowns, or urgency, things that I like to call scarcity tactics. You can withhold the solution, tease it, don't give it away too early. And you can show a progress preview, show what's coming or how far you've come. I suggest that you use at least one of these, if not more, in each and every single video, right? So now, what we're gonna do is that within that tension, we want people to take action, but we need to create or deliver the transformation to where we create believers, right? Like I said, the real thing that we're focused on doing is simply just inspiring people, because when people see it, when people can actually visualize it, it makes the future feel real, and it is real if you can see it. You won't receive a vision that's not real. That's not how the brain works, right? When they believe it, you build trust and proof, and then that's going to lead to somebody making that action, which makes making a purchase a no-brainer. Whether they make that purchase off of that one video, which you shouldn't even be worried about, because people are going to watch video after video after video after video when you incorporate what I'm talking about and teaching you in this, right? So the clarity leads to belief, the belief plus the urgency, that what's equals to sale. That's how we actually monetize and build a business online. So when people buy, when they can clearly see the result and trust you to deliver it and know what to do next, that's when you make the money. So views don't sell. Views don't buy. People buy. But people that have belief buy. So your job isn't to sell in your video, it's to help them visualize it. It's to help them see it. It's to help them see the transformation that they desire. It's to help them see themselves in the transformation through you. So when you do that, then buying is the next logical step. It makes sense. So you show the transformation, paint a clear before or after picture that makes the future feel possible. Show them how to do it. Describe their current struggle. That's why you need to know who it is that you're talking to. Reveal the new identity that they become. Show the life or result on the other side and make it specific and visual. That's a big thing. Specificity sells. A lot of people are being entirely too broad. Specific digital products that solve a specific painful problem are what sells. The same exact thing with content. If you want to build an audience of the right people and build a business off of that, to whereas you have a true digital asset of a micro niche YouTube channel working in hand with your offer and they're both compounding over time, you need specificity. You don't want to make broad stuff, right? You don't want to be shooting out here with buckshots or bird shots, right? Bird shots the one that spray, right? You don't want to be out here spraying or peppering people up with bird shots. You want to have a sniper rifle and you want to be very precise and you want to pew, pew, except all these little pews that we're giving people is value. Pew, you're getting value. Pew, you're getting value. Pew, you're getting inspiration. Pew, you're getting inspiration. Pew, you're getting transformation. Pew, you're getting results, right? Then you end up having this like crazy, I guess with this analogy I'm using, a hit list, which in this case, the hit list is a good thing because people are getting good things from the content and the products that you provide to the marketplace, right? So, example, if somebody is helping creators, you can take somebody from second guessing their work to getting paid from their creativity. And there's a lot of starving artists out there, right? If you can paint that picture, if you can paint that patina to where they can see that, that's what you need to do. So with that, you build belief with proof plus trust. So remove doubt by stacking the evidence, and that's what builds connection. So something that I do and that I like to utilize is like visual proof. Like, yeah, I can say something, that's cool, but when I show visual proof of results that I've gotten for myself, if I'm talking about something that I've done, it's just like, oh, okay, I see it. It's not that much convincing that needs to be done when they can see it. I have proof of people within my community. They can see it. If I don't show that in a video, I can show that on my sales page for my community. It's all over the place. They see it, right? So is there a way that you can show some visual proof? If so, cool, use it. If you don't have visual proof, that's cool also. Another way that you can do it is that you can use, you can show the process, right? So what I was just showing, or what I was just explaining of visual proof or testimonials, that's me showing the outcome. Another way that I can do that is to show the process, right? Step by step, or show the framework step by step. Another way that I can show proof is by telling that story. Remember, I really emphasize storytelling because it's so powerful. And with this, you want to be real, not perfect. And that'll make people connect with you also. I'm not perfect. Actually, my most viewed video has so many errors on it. I quoted the wrong stuff. A lot of comments are correcting me on the stuff that I messed up in the video. Nobody's perfect. Stop overthinking these YouTube videos and thinking that they have to be perfect. It's actually those imperfect flaws in you that are going to make people connect with you or connect to you. That's just something just in any relationships, period, whether it be family, friendship, romantically or whatever. Usually the things that are attractive in others to us are the imperfections of those other people. We like how their little tooth got a little gap in it. We like how they snort when they laugh. All right. We like how they're forgetful about little cute stuff like that, right? It's the imperfections that attract us to somebody. It's going to be that same exact thing in you. So don't think that you have to be perfect. Just be your real, true, authentic self. All right. Now, then you make taking action the easy choice. You guide them to the next step with clarity and confidence. So how we do this is that we explain exactly what it is that they get. We can remove any risk or objection, which is a big one because we already know what somebody's objection is going to be if we really know who it is that we're talking to. Then you can either create urgency, what I use, I like to call scarcity tactics, where it's either something that's limited availability, or you could use something as far as time, but don't use fake scarcity tactics. For one, it's going to break trust with people. Again, like I said, we live in an age where living in the trust economy and people buy things from people that they know, like, and trust. Well, just like in any relationship, think about this. It can take time to build somebody's trust, but you can break that trust within an instant. You can build somebody's trust for years. In literally 1 second, you can break that trust and never get it back. That's something that a lot of people don't realize that they're doing when they're using fake urgency, when they're using fake scarcity tactics, when they're using fake limited ability. Got a countdown timer, but every time you refresh the page, the countdown goes back up to the original number. They say only this many is available, but then you see there's more of those available. Say it's only available for this price for this long, and then after that long, you see it's still available for that price. People are like, oh, he's a phony. She's a phony. They're a big fat phony. You break that trust forever. The strongest thing that you have in the trust economy is your word. Your word is your bond. Stick by it. So don't use scarcity tactics. Don't use urgency tactics. Don't use limited availability tactics. Don't use time tactics if it's not real. But if it's real, use it. And then always tell them what to do next. And something that I like to do is that instead of saying to get blah, blah, blah of whatever your product is, make your call to action actionable. Use the A in there. A stands for action. Make it actionable. So what I like to do, instead of saying something like, click the link to get my ebook, click the link to buy my course, click the link to join my community, click the link to get my template, click the link to get my AI agent, or whatever it is. Always lead with result first. Always lead with outcome first. Always lead with promise first. Always lead with what is it that they actually desire first. So if me, from my community, instead of saying join my community, I can say build your YouTube into a digital product sales system. I can say something like make more working less from stuff that you already know, right? Instead of just join this. If I'm in the health niche and I'm helping busy mothers lose the belly fat that don't have much time because they're new mothers, I can say, and if you want to shed that belly fat in only 10 minutes a day, then boom, that's an actionable call to action versus click the link and get my blah, blah, blah. You want to lose 20 pounds of belly fat in only 10 minutes a day within the next 90 days? That's actionable, right? You're leading with the vision of the outcome. You're leading with the vision of the transformation. You're leading with the vision of the promise that your product offers versus just click this link to get this thing, right? And the way that we make this work is that we make these offers that they can't refuse, right? How do you make an offer that's so good that they feel stupid if they don't get it? Well, there's a few ways that you can do this. For one, you can remove the risk. You can increase the value. And those two things make it easy to say yes. So how do we do this? Removing the risk. Well, for one, to get somebody to logically say yes, or to just be like, yeah, it definitely makes sense, you can remove the risk. Something that a lot of people are doing, which I highly advise you to be very cautious with, because remember, your name is everything, is that they have a money back guarantee. I say to be very cautious with this, depending on what your offer is, right? If you can't guarantee a result for somebody, don't give a money back guarantee. A lot of people that are giving money back guarantees, they're leading more so service wise, or they're painting it like it's a digital product offer, to whereas in actuality they're building a service-based business, or they're framing it like it's a community, when in actuality it's a service-based business. It has some type of done for you element. So if your product or your offer doesn't have some type of done for you element with it, I wouldn't really offer a money back guarantee. But another way that you can do it is that you can offer whatever it is that you have to offer at a low risk entry point. You can be very transparent, which you should be very transparent to people. Something else you can do, show proof, social validation, right? If you have testimonials, use those testimonials. If you don't have any testimonials, be your own testimony. If you would like to get some testimonials quicker, give out your stuff for free to somebody or to some people in exchange for some honest feedback and an honest testimony. I've done that in the past, right? Then you can address these objections up front. So let's say that somebody had something that was something like some type of agent or some type of community or something like that. You could say something like, try it for this amount of money for 7 days. Try it for 7 days for $7. If it's not for you, walk away. Something that I do, like within my community, right? Cancel anytime. That removes the risk. They know that they can cancel at any time within one click of a button, right? If somebody was having something either service-based or, like I have right here, SaaS, which is a digital product. If you're not familiar with what SaaS stands for software as a service, right? This is one of the biggest money-making digital products also. SaaS is basically just software, right? But if somebody had like a SaaS or something like that, they could have that's when you could use a 30-day guarantee, right? Because it has a done for you element to the digital product, because it's software as a service, right? In the service, you're actually doing something for somebody. So that's where you could have something like a 30-day guarantee or money back guarantee. 30-day guarantee, use it, test it, love it, or you get your money back, right? And I'm not going to go too in depth with this. I don't advise many people to get started in SaaS because it's a tough business. I don't advise people really to get started in it unless you're probably making about $30,000 a month, to be real. But typically, with the SaaS product, it's something that somebody actually needs, right? So like if I had what's something that I use that I need, right? I use Dropbox. I use Dropbox as cloud storage, right? I make a lot of content, right? I have hard drives for stuff, but other stuff I put it in Dropbox in the cloud. Or my coaching calls in my community, I use on Zoom, right? Well, Zoom has become such an integral part of my life because, for one, I have my coaching calls each and every single week on Zoom with my community members, right? For two, my business is turned into my life because my community is my life. I enjoy doing it. That's something that I need, right? So that's why something like that would be very comfortable on saying like, hey, use this, test it. If you hate it, stop using it. If not, blah, 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 because they're working on having it become integrated with what you do on a day-to-day basis, to whereas it will really be an inconvenience if you didn't have it anymore, right? Another way, we make something like a logical like they'll feel dumb if they don't do it. Increase the value or increase the perceived value of something. So something that I really like to do in business and something that will really make you a lot of money is, imagine if you could sell $100 bill for $10. If you sold $100 bills for $10, how many $100 bills do you think you would sell? You would sell a lot of them. You would make a lot of money. Why? Because it's an unequal value proposition. So many people out here in the online business world, in the creator economy, in the trust economy, are trying to think of what something is worth instead of trying to give way more than what it's worth. So the perceived value is way higher. So it's like a no-brainer to say yes. So something that I like to do is that I like to increase the perceived value of something. So I like to stack bonuses for what they actually want. That's something that really helped me out in my very first digital product that I ever sold. My very first digital product at the gate made a little over $900,000. Well, I added a bonus to it. That digital product was an ebook, but I raised the perceived value of it because an ebook is typically a low ticket digital product, right? And even though this was a low ticket item for me, I priced it at $40. Well, $40 is a low ticket item, but for an ebook, that's pretty high, because you can't sell a physical New York Times bestseller book for $40. So how did I do that? It's because of the bonuses that I added to it that raises perceived value. So not only did I have the ebook with it, but I had a package of videos that were basically a free course that I sold with it. So people out here selling courses for, $997, $1,297, $5,000, $10,000 as a cohort that has a certain amount of coaching calls or sessions with it or whatnot, high ticket courses. And you got a free course with my ebook, and you got all that for $40 when the other people were out here, selling courses that had similar information for, 4 figures. The perceived value was so high that they're like, yo, this makes sense. Same as that thing for my community. Not only do you get day-to-day personal access to me, you get weekly coaching on coaching calls each and every single week. You get all my trainings, frameworks, and systems that took my business to a 7-figure level. And it's only $97 a month. It's like, whoa, for the people that actually want a true change in their life, it's like, yeah, that's a no-brainer. I'm sitting here stuck trying to figure all this stuff out on my own when I can actually have this guy whose YouTube videos that I watch all the time that obviously is showing me that he's obsessed on coming up with solutions to my problems more than I have. I can get direct access and direct coaching from him. He can help me get unstuck when I feel stuck. And I'm in a community of other like-minded contentpreneurs to where we're all on the same mission. And I don't have to run out here like a lone wolf. I can run as a pack. And the pack is always stronger than the lone wolf, right? It's like a logical no-brainer, right? So think about what can you add to something to whereas it can be positioned as a free bonus to whereas all this stuff is digital. You do it once, you create it once, you won't have to do it again. So you can stack bonuses that people actually want. You can highlight the transformation. You can show how it saves time or money. Those are the 2 big money makers right there also. You can add scarcity or exclusivity, only if it's real, and you can compare the value, not the price. So many people are stuck on the price, not realizing that price is only an issue if value is absent, right? So something that, let's say that somebody is in the travel niche, right? These are just 3 examples of people in different niches, but you could say something like, get my exact itinerary plus bonus packaging list plus airport lounge guide. Say that all this stuff together has a $197 value. They're like, whoa, I get this, and that to learn how to travel all over the world for pennies on the dollar. The perceived value of it is so high for the result that they're going to get from it, right? And then you want to make saying yes easy. So reduce as much friction as possible to making a easy quick decision. So make your offer simple and clear. Remember, clarity beats cleverness. Use simple pricing. One option is best. Again, you can create urgency, but make sure it's real and not fake, and tell them exactly what to do next. A lot of times, we give people too much credit for knowing what to do. That's why call to actions are so important. Tell them where to go. Tell them what to do. Don't ever assume that somebody knows what to do. And then, again, you can guarantee the outcome only if you really can. Your word is everything. So really, I'm emphasizing that because a lot of people, they're not really putting that much thought into like just focusing on building a solid name over time. That stuff sticks around with you for forever. And then you start to get this like word of mouth marketing, which is the most powerful, especially on YouTube. People don't think of word of mouth if you're watching on your computer or your phone. I know some people watching on TVs and whatnot, but they have this little share button. My content gets shared thousands of times per week. That's word of mouth marketing. And that's showing YouTube's algorithm that you're making valuable content because you're bringing people from off the platform onto the platform. That starts with my favorite word, really, outside of architect. Architect's one of my favorite words too. But integrity. All right, integrity is real big with me. And I'm sure that you have integrity if you're watching this, because I don't make content for the make $500 by tomorrow, because you're probably not going to make $500 from watching the video. And tomorrow, gosh, I hate this stuff. And I can see what some of my audience watches. That's why I really focus in on making the stuff that actually gets you results instead of all that crap. Anyway, it's not to go off on my tangent right there, but the anatomy of a no-brainer offer. For one, it has a clear solution, right? A clear path. They know what it actually solves. The clear path leads them to their desired outcome, the result that they really, really, really want. You can have your value stack, your bonuses, your tools, your extras to add to the perceived value of it. If possible, I don't do this. I don't recommend a lot of people do this. But depending on what your offer is, the risk reversal, right? You can use urgency, limited availability, only if it's real, and then make it easy to say yes, easy to buy. That leads to the more sales. That leads to what you actually want. And then also in your call to actions, this is more so something that would be, yes, you can do this in your content, but this will be something that you would really want to focus and lock in on more so on your sales page, the majority. So like the 80-20 would be really focusing more so on this, on the sales page, especially the headline, the most valuable real estate on the sales page. So let's just say this is your sales page. Let's say that this is your headline, right? Your couple little lines, and then let's say that this is a video sales letter, then everything else you have here about the product and whatnot. This headline is the most valuable space on a sales page. Not only that headline, if you do have a VSL, which stands for video sales letter, then this here is the most important real estate on a YouTube channel. I mean, not on a YouTube channel, on a sales page. And with this, what you want to do is that you want to turn objections into obvious decisions. So something I like to do on my sales page, always leading with the big promise. What is the big promise? What's the desired outcome? What's the transformation somebody's going to get? And then either say with or without whatever you already know somebody's limiting belief is, whatever you already know their objection is, whatever you already know the lie that they've been telling themselves is, right? So With this, we can address the objections, we reduce that friction, and then it makes saying yes to that an obvious decision. Clarity plus confidence equals conversions. So address the real objections. For one, as you're consistently making content, you need to find out what's stopping them and remove the hesitation. So how can you do this? Listen to your audience. How do you listen to your audience? Read the comments in the DMs. And also, something that will really set you apart in online business and in the digital world, if you can talk to as many people as possible. A rule of thumb that I have is that the more analog that I stay in a digital world, the more successful I will be, because I won't be moving with the energy and strategy of thinking that I think people would like this, I think people want this, I think people need this. I know, because I'm constantly talking to people. People ask me all the time, why do I spend so much time in my comments? And I'm like, well, for one, if I'm able to, somebody has takes the time to leave a comment, I can take the time to comment back. And my channel's not to the point yet to where it's just like, oh, I can't keep up with the comments. So that's for one. I just respect people's time. For two, I'm like, those comments are like a statue on YouTube. And think, why do people build statues? Because statues, their legacy, they're there for legacy. So if you know that YouTube is the only evergreen platform, it's not about the views that the videos get today. It's about the views, leads, and sales that video gets for weeks, months, and literal years to come. On a month-to-month basis, videos that I did a year ago and 2 years ago are always in the top performers on a month-to-month basis. So I'm like, it's not about that person even seeing my comment. It's about the person 6 months from now that's going to be watching this video and is going to be looking in the comments and is going to see what type of interaction did he have with this person that had a question or that showed some support or that said something negative, right? That's a reflection of me over time. I look at those comments like they're statues, right? And I'm just thinking that's actually one of the best leveraged use of my time on YouTube, right? Because I'm getting real-time feedback from real people in real time. I'm talking to the members of my community each and every single day. The assets and training material and resources that I create for them, I'm not making stuff that I think they need. I'm making stuff that I know that they need because I'm talking to them literally every day. I'm on a coaching call with them in the same room online every single week, right? Same thing with content. I know what it is that my viewers need because I'm listening to them, whether they're in my community or my YouTube comments and whatnot. So once you start getting sales, if you're getting refunds, start to actually look at those reasons. Reach out to people. If you're getting some refunds, reach out to those people and ask why. Most likely you're not going to get a lot of refunds. I have a less than 1% refund rate, I think, in my entire history. They happen sometimes. Reach out and ask. And always answer your top 3 objections in your videos, right? So something that may be big for people is something about time. I don't have time. Well, you can break down in your video that whatever you're talking about saves X amount of hours per week. Like for me, I don't work that much as far as what people would think is work. I work at maximum 4 hours per day. Well, people that saying I don't have time, I'm like, well, for me doing this full time is 4 hours per day. If you was doing something part-time, excuse me, a little gassy. If you was doing something part-time, you couldn't find a few hours out the week. Like this isn't about spending a lot more time into something. This is about building the actual system to where we get our time back and build a business around the lifestyle that we desire, right? I can mention that in a video. Something else that we can do. We want to reduce the friction, make the path to saying yes as smooth as possible. So simplify the process. If you're gonna use payment options, make sure they're flexible, but I highly advise that you only have one payment option. Instead of giving people the option to choose, give people one decision to make, right? If so, provide a guarantee if you can. Make access instant, right? And then we want to make saying yes the obvious choice. So lead them to the decision, right? Make it clear. Say it with confidence. Summarize the transformation. Tell them exactly what to do. Remove the last little bit of labor. So in your videos at the end, you can recap the win, right? You know what's possible. Here's what you'll get. You can use urgency if it's real, and then you'll have a clear call to action. So the framework around this, just remember, find objections, answer objections, reduce frictions, make it obvious, and then you'll get more sales, just like all them that you see on the screen right now. And if you're ready to turn your YouTube into a digital product sales machine, just like all them, then go ahead and click the link down in the description and join this Credit at the Top community. And I look forward to building with you. But this video went a little longer. I said it was going to take about 5 minutes. I think it took about 10 minutes. But really, the more that you master the human mind, instead of thinking about all these crazy marketing tactics and the 3 ways to make this much money in an hour when you have no audience, ain't never sold nothing. Master the mind. Study the human mind, because not only will you know more about what people actually want, so you can give them what they want, packaged around what it is that they actually need, but you'll know yourself better as well. You'll know why you do certain things and why you don't do certain things. And you'll become a powerhouse, not only on YouTube, not only in entrepreneurship, not only with your digital products, but just as a person in general. You'll become a good content creator, you'll become a good contentpreneur, you'll become a good entrepreneur, you'll become a good person. So go ahead and click the link down in the description if you want to tap into the community. Go ahead and check out this video right here for an absolutely free course on how you can actually take all of this psychology, create a digital product that sells, and create a YouTube system, saving yourself time, energy, and money. It's Credit at the Top.